Hey there. So let me just start this video by saying this is going to be a little more different than the usual content, but not like ranking all Crush 40 solo is different. Just like the title suggests, there's barely any actual bits or jokes in this video, just me playing Katamari and bringing up conversations with myself to share with everyone else. This is more or less just a test to see how a podcast-like video would do with the others that I have on this channel. Hopefully it goes well? I don't know, but I won't keep you. Enjoy! So we're going to try getting... Our mission here is to get the cow bear itself, which is not easy. Otherwise, I finished the clip dump video as of now, and I've been thinking I might just make like that is just go back down, me completing all the Katamari stages, because I'm in the Katamari. I might as well make a Katamari exclusive video that nobody will watch except for me, because like I like watching Katamari videos. Like I said in the clip dump video, I've been watching a lot of like speedruns of Katamari. And it's just so fun. Just I'm one of the people that I described in my own video where like if I want to sit down and just fuck still think they did a disservice of like you can't access levels, you can't access the musics of levels until you beat the level. Like I don't want to listen to like the whatever like techno beat song you put me through 4 different times. I want to listen to the cow bear everything, we're just yelling. This is a problem that was like everything was except for We Love Katamari had this issue, which is pretty weird. We should have fixed it and We Love in this one, because this must be like the definitive way to play Katamari games. At least all of the levels, because like again, this is just Katamari Mega Mix for the 3DS and shit. So I'm in a like a fate. I should say like I might be going to be having a much longer hiatus than, well, I guess technically I can't say I had a hiatus when I like when what happened in through like July to I guess it's more November, because that's when I seriously lost track of making videos. I had all the content, like the Sonic Generations video that you saw in the clip dump. If you saw that at all, go watch that, it's pretty funny. No, don't do that. In the Sonic Generations video, that was recorded back in December. I had that footage for like, so far 8 months. And this is like, it's August right now. For all we know, this could be November, but I doubt it. I've been kind of getting back into video making. But the reason for that was because of like, I found like a different friend group, and I got really obsessed with like just this friend group in particular. They're like, oh, I have to be with them like 24/7. I can't be with Golden Bumblebee and Gam anymore for like until November happened, and then like, well, no, I was able to manage Golden Bumblebee, Gam, and all that shit for like a decent while. You know, I was able to micromanage. Kind of. No, I wasn't. That's a lie. I was not. I was horrible. I really keep sidetracking myself, but like, I really did try to like make it work with me, Bumbler, Gam, and all that with also second friend group, but then I just like kept getting obsessed to the point where like I just disconnected from them entirely for like a little while. With Gam like being the lucky one that was able to talk to me. The friend group was like, it wasn't anything. Like nothing. It was just a Pokemon friend group. If you want the details. So like we were all just hanging out, being friends. I just stopped doing stuff on Golden Bumblebee to the point where I couldn't really record. And the only reason why there was something in December when I'm talking about November right now is because like it's just shit happened, and like I want to get into details because it's kind of just too fucky, I guess. You know, it's nothing like horribly bad, I guess. It was just, I don't even put this into words really. It's just a disconnect happened. That's about it. You know if you were like Golden Game alone, like only they know really. But like, you know, when November happened, I went back to Gam to like make the Sonic Generations video and also a couple other clips, and then shit just like oh shit. I forgot about the bear. Damn it. Same bear, same exact bear as last time. Okay. I should put my compression on, really, like, you make this truly podcast-like, but You know, hold on. Actually, let me try that. Okay, welcome back to the bear hunt podcast. Okay, where was I? So, well, when I came back to like Gammon, Bumbler, and Golden, they were. It was like kind of bumpy, you know, because not bumpy exactly, because you know how Golden is. Golden's exactly chill. He didn't care if I left for like a year or something like that. He was alone. I guess. Damn it. Hopefully, I don't think things are any like there was like I'd say a bit of like awkwardness for the first 3 days maybe, but like I said, Golden's very chill. He knows like he understood pretty quickly, and like even if he didn't understand, he probably didn't care enough that it would be like it would consider like tension between us. The game was like I'd say the worst offender was Bumbler, because him and I are like okay, and this is gonna be like a really shitty thing to admit, like with Bumbler right beside me. But like him and I aren't like we're still like him and all four of us are like the best of friends, but like in terms of like a tier list of friends powers, it's like me, it's like Gam, Golden, Bumbler. Bumbler is like, I'm not gonna say worst because that's just a bad way to put it, but like it's the most like we have our connections, but it's more like we're kind of like okay. Here's a good way to put it. I found it out. So you know how like you're at a party and you're like you have that friend of you have that mutual friend that it's like, you know, you're friends with this one guy. You're both friends with this one guy, and like you make the connections based on that aspect. So then when that friend leaves, it's like, okay, what do we talk about now? Have you heard about the new football game and something like that? You know, it's just all very awkward. That's what me and Mama are like. We are that mutual aspect where we have our moments, but like it's mostly just ad-libbing and like. God, I hate to jump. It's, you know, it's just trying to figure out how the others can like how we can connect with one another. Not to say we don't have our moments. You know, me and Mama can't connect with one another about like a good old horror game or something like that. This start of this like podcast thing is such like a friendship betrayal at the beginning, but like that's kind of what happened with the Clip Them videos, where like I had a really good strong topic, but then I just lost like everything else about it. I do want to like. I think I could do well in a podcast setting, given like enough topics and like enough ideas. I feel like I could do it. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not confident in my skills, but like I'd say it's very plausible. But the reason I'm doing all this is because I want to unlock the Katamari. Maybe I think it was the We Love Katamari like bonus stage at the end, which requires you to beat every single game, every single level that there is, which sounds kind of easy enough until you realize that means you have to like at least 100% every single stage, which requires a lot of mastery. And so my new goal is to just try to like complete all GC 120 in every stage, because that's all you really need to get like the extra modes. It's just a 100% or 120, which I've definitely completed, but I want to go for gold. I should really like try telling stories more, because I don't have much like antidotes to tell about, unfortunately. I don't have like much life experience to like, or interesting life really, to just like give a worthwhile story. I can like tell stories of like my beliefs. That sounds like I'm about to go religious, but like I mean like video game beliefs, you know, like stories that I used to believe in, like the I should keep my distance. Like the treasure in the bottle book thing, or like personal enjoyments. I don't know. I can't get too personal, of course, because like I have common sense. But like it would be fun to just talk about some dumb shit like that. There's a lot of like games that I do wish could stay preserved. Because like Flash games, for example. I know that they're wealthily preserved at this point, but like there's one Flash game that I never found ever again, and it was it's gonna become like such a Flash thing of a statement, but like it was this one Sonic shaving game, and I wish I could find it again. I couldn't remember anything about it, but like I remember I played it once when I was like 6 years old, I think, because I had unrestricted access to the internet. I'm fairly certain it was like a furry fetish game or something like that. But it was like you have these like stock PNGs of the Sonic characters, and like there was like the werehog, and I remember there's the werehog and Blaze the Cat specifically, and you just like shape them, and like it would reveal like muscles and underwear and shit like that. It was very like, it was harmless to me, but like my dad was like, hey, wait a minute. I understand what the motives are here. Get off that shit. And I was like, oh no. It's like, to me, I was just playing a little Sonic game. What did I do wrong? It was because he was very aggressive, of course, because like, shit, okay. He was very aggressive to it, of course, because like, obviously I shouldn't be looking at that shit. But I didn't know any better. I was a dumb little kid. Little did I know. I really hope there's like some kind of like grand Mario game again. Like Super Mario Wonder is released obviously, but like I think I don't know how they'll like be able to surpass Odyssey at this point, because New Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the thing that's going to surpass like the 2D Mario games now at this point. But like, what's going to surpass 3D? There's going to be like, is it a game where Mario finally does his taxes or something like that? Like, there should be. I want another Mario RPG. I want something. That's something I want to do. I don't want like another mainline Mario game. I want another Mario spin-off game that isn't just Rabbids. Even though Rabbids has Rayman now, which is thank God. Thank God he's coming back. You know, there was like another Mario and Luigi game. You know, like that's when things really went downhill. Is when Mario and Luigi became like less of a unique game experience and more just like a remaster, refranchise thing. Because those are obviously lazy and like overdone. And they were, I will admit, they were on their last legs. I can't like be too harsh about it. You know, Mario and Luigi were like their unique, its own entity, its own special brand. So like them taking that away felt, you know, them going bankrupt was really saddening for that, because there will never be anything like Mario and Luigi. Remember the bear? Remember your karma, Squidward. Depending on how long this video becomes, I might also like just make more content based off of like Katamari, you know? Or maybe a Katamari tuber, probably not. I want to play the other Katamari games. What I'm trying to say, I want to like try the Me and My Katamari, the Touch My Katamari. I want to try those ones. The Me and My Katamari especially looks so bizarre, and like it like fully leans into the aspect of this a fucked up drug game. I don't remember what got me in the Katamari. Okay, wait, no. I know a few things that got me in the Katamari, which I will say right now. So there was this one. So first of all, for context, like I'm a Rhythm Heaven fan. Certified Rhythm Heaven fan. I could like play the entire game with my eyes closed and I beat it. Truly. I played a lot of like. I watched a lot of like Rhythm Heaven inspired content, like all the remix reanimated and like the like memes variants of it and all that shit. And one of them that struck me the most was this like, it was this remix 4 animation of, it was this Katamari's like made remix 4 animation, that's what I'm trying to say. So like, I was very like immersed in this variant because like not only did they make the king flex until he was naked, which was pretty cool, I gotta admit. But it was like, it was so different to what the other game had. I didn't know who like any of the Katamari characters are, I didn't know who Nick was, I didn't know who like the prince was, I didn't know who the king was, and then like that led me to look up what Katamari is about. And when I realized it was on the PlayStation, I had no chance of like getting it.
When
I realized on the PS2, I was like, oh, so I have no chance of playing this. That's fine, I guess. And then I never touched it. I never like tried getting into it ever. I like watched videos. I watched like Misei and Ella play the games. I watched Sugar Conroy. Because like Misei and Ella is basically like Sugar Conroy's like right-hand person, you know? At least that's how I've seen it. I like got myself immersed into like the first 3 games, and I was like, oh, you know, I would play these if I could. These seem very fun. And it wasn't only until like when Katamari Reroll, or We Love Katamari Reroll came out, and there was like, and German played it, like I said. Ooh, okay, nice dodge. That's what got me like effectively into playing this game fully, and the rest is history, you know? Flying bear! Okay. Okay, we're good. We're officially good. Now all we have to do is sit here and wait. There he is. Oh shit, he runs away. Yes! Woo! Woo! So, okay, so yesterday's conversation was about, because the last time I actually recorded was indeed yesterday. That was before, I was with Golden Bumblebee being guest stars for like a couple stuff shots, which was pretty, is the music repeating itself? It is. Very interesting how I haven't stopped Katamari. I kind of thought it would be like a one-off episode of me playing Katamari, but it's like something just draws you back to playing this some more, you know? It's like a parasite, really. Just anyway, what's all these trees? Hold on. I know Gam. I think it's just because like Gam and I think I sound like another fucking relationship moment, but it's just me and Gam. Gam's been obsessed with Pikmin 4 right now, so he's been like completely disconnected. I haven't been able to do much with him there, which is like, well, it's whatever in scheme of things. Anyway, so I do have something that I do want to talk about, which is like, it was when like, so when Super Mario Galaxy first came out, I was like very, very, very much enthused about it. You know, any kid would when they got like, it's fucking Super Mario Galaxy. It was like, I was like so hyped about it that like, when we went to my cousin's house for just like the visit them and all that shit, I screamed at the top of my lungs that I got Super Mario Galaxy to like the moment I entered the house, and then like I had to be scolded afterwards. But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is like, there was then a time where it was like, I did play it, and once I did play it, I could never play it for like a good, like couple months straight because of the first boss. Because the first boss is just so terrifying to my child brain that I was like, I was mortified upon seeing him. Oh, right, okay, right, so the story. So, there was this one video online that just like made me absolutely flabbergasted. Hey, Marty, what are you doing here? It was like a Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga theory that like that was so like insane that it could not have not been true. And it was like how there was like fucking communism happening while the events of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga were happening. As crazy of a statement as it is true. Like that's because like the evidence for sports like about how the adventure happens in about only a couple hours. I cannot get that. That's bait. The adventure happens in only like a handful of like days, maybe a couple of hours even. But like somehow the bean bean count of coins go from like about 100 bean bean coins equals like 1 bean bean coin and shit like that. Something like that, 10 bean bean coins. To like a million Mushroom Kingdom coins goes down to 1 bean bean coin. And it's like, that I never realized that until like that was explicitly mentioned to me, and I now thought about like what happened in the Mushroom Kingdom to get this like, to make it this painfully large amount of money. Who hurt Toad? But okay, where was I with Mario and Luigi and stuff? I was talking about that. I guess it's just like, Mario and Luigi has always been an oddity and how it's impacted me. Honestly, the story of like the Mario and Luigi RPGs and my fascination with it, because you know from the Pick Mario video that me and Gam, you know, I love all the Mario RPGs equally. The first Mario RPG, I kind of have a distaste for that. I haven't touched it since. I beat it like once. But besides that, I do love every single Mario and Luigi game that there is. I love Super Saga, I love Parts in Time, I love it all. But I think it's all started from the infamous like Super Mario RPG like music video by Christopher. You know, that one, the Mario RPG music video. That one's like always that was a piece of internet culture that I'm glad we all agree on is like really, really good. Something I just always enjoyed about the like appeal of Mario RPG. Can I get that guy please? Thank you. It was like Mario, it just like put into a more story-based format instead of the usual wahoo, yahoo, yippee kind of deal. Was like, it was sort of mesmerizing because just it was very much unique because you're not given much story in the actual Mario games, so for them to actually have like depth and more interesting characters than what you're used to, it was definitely a step forward in like a more unique direction. And like I feel like if you missed out on this opportunity, you missed out on a lot, and just in general. Because like, oh shit. Because there is so much like to take in with Mario RPG games, really. I've always had a soft spot for Luigi more than Mario. That's the first thing. That's a given if you don't know about me. I love Luigi. And so like just to be given a game that focuses solely on it, like, so okay, no, let me say this wrong. Let me restart. So I've always had a soft spot for Luigi, and I've always had a soft spot for the Mario RPG game, because it's just like a Mario RPG, a Mario game where story is just so much more cool. So like have a game that not only like dwells into the psyche of Luigi, but also has like a lot of genuinely good writing. That became my favorite game for 8. It still is my favorite game. It's like there'll be nothing like that ever. Kind of saddening. Also, this is the one I saw. This is the one that this is what I was talking about when we did the money stage, where it's like there was this amazing like speedrun of this. That was shit. Yeah, sure. That was like it was an. It wasn't a speedrun. What am I saying? It was an hour-long video, hour 30 long video, longer than my own clip dump video, of just like them working the. Oh, right. I gotta wait. It was an hour-long 30 video of like just them managing to beat the stage and collect the most money possible. Period. And I was really amazed when I saw that, to be honest. It was just like, that's so much fucking money. And it was like, to recreate it is to just like play the challenge of the gods, really. It was something pretty impressive. It was all about like there was like a bunch of timing, like in this area specifically, there's like so much waiting around and just hoping and just figuring out what to pick up, and I could not do that in my life. To me, it was like 3,000 items, by the way, if you're wondering how many like items there were. It was like the most cheapest run you could. It was the Mr. Krabs run. And my money. I guess I could try to talk about another story about my childhood. It sucks because like I'm not exactly good with that was dangerous right there. Not exactly good with like understanding how to give a good story to people, because I'm basic as shit. I don't have much like adventures to tell or like exciting tales to talk about. I'm just someone who's lived a decent life. You think the produce section would like be pretty inexpensive, but then you like go in there and next thing you know you're like losing so much money. Like you don't actually know like what could be worthwhile to buy or what could be not. Fuck, until you pick it up. I might actually look up the guide. Like I might watch an hour-long guide for this. This is impossible. Like every Katamari game had this one insanely difficult level. We Love Katamari had the bears, of course, the cow bears. This is the equivalent of that for Beautiful Katamari. It's just the fucking. So obviously I got a drop place, because who wouldn't in this day and age where everything requires anything. You need a car. It's basically what you need a car no matter what like lifestyle you have. And like for me, I was willing to take it slow to get that car license driver's license. But like my sister was like, oh no, you gotta get it now. You gotta get like absolute this money around here. Hold on. This is like, oh no, you have to get the driver's license now if you want to like do something. And I was like, no, I can take my time. And then my dad also agreed with him or with her to the point where like when she got her driver's license, I had to also take her temps. When she went to take her temps test, I also had to take it. And I had no information on Relay, so I was forced to like take a impromptu like surprise test just to learn my shit. And like I crammed in all the information that I could possibly have. I'll leave that there. And it was indeed insane to like learn all that shit in such little time. But I did it somehow. I did it, and like I took the. Oh, right underneath the point. Okay, I took the impromptu test or the temps test, and I passed. I passed like a really decent score because it wasn't like that impossible. And then, obviously after that, I went to studying. I spent like a good chunk of my like first few years in high school just like learning everything that there was about cars and driving and safety. And it was like, as boring as it was, I will reminisce back on those times because they were delightful. Just like sitting in study hall, like reading about the most boring shit in the world and being like, okay, I gotta remember all this so I can take a quiz at the end of it and then be like 50 points. What did I just pick up? Here's a decent story anyway. So we in junior high, there was this one math teacher that I don't remember his name at all. For the sake of character, we're gonna call him like Mr. Tim. Sure. And Mr. Tim was he was a math teacher. He was as much of a math teacher as he could have. You know, it's nothing good, nothing bad, nothing you like criticize yourself. He was just kind of like a guy, you know. You would enjoy his company, I'm sure. If you took him like out for dinner or something, like that, he'd be a fun guy. But like, just one day, there was these like two kids that were like kind of being annoying. Like they're like, so okay. For added context, there's like, we always had this program in school where it's just like quiet reading time, where like some point in the day we would all just stop and read. It got to a point where like Fred, he was completely fed up with the behavior of like two students who were just like mucking about, and it got he just went off is what I'm trying to say. He shouted at them so loud about like their misbehavior. He like ranted for a solid minute, and to most people there, that was like really fucking terrifying. This guy usually was level-headed, so just see him like explode on that was like, it was something impressive, really. It was something like to behold. He ranted at them for like a good minute, and the reason why I keep repeating that is because like he was above me, like genuinely above me when I was yelling, and I was just like underneath the desk, not underneath the desk, but like, you know, just like my head was on the desk, just like shocked, surprised, scared, whatever the fuck you want to call like an emotion of a 13, 14-year-old just experiencing this guy yelling at you. You're yelling at like not even you. He wasn't yelling at me. God damn it, picked that joke. He wasn't yelling at me. He was just yelling at the other kids. And woo, but it was just so loud and violent and like terrifying. Uh-oh, where am I going? We're down here, I guess. And it was just like, what do I do? What do I how do I react to the situation properly? And once he was done, it was the end of the silent reading time. Once he was basically done ranting for like a beep. After that, he just like loudly exclaimed, "Do some math!" Like he was like his rant was like inspiring or something like that. And obviously, like now the guys, I don't even know how the guys are now. I think they did look nice pick 'em bottle. I think they did learn their lesson at that point and just like not mess around because it was like that. But after the year ended, we never saw him again. He was fired. He was never seen again, and I really hope he improved his life after that situation, because like, Jesus Christ, my guy. I think honestly I will be satisfied with whatever this ranking is, because it seems like we're doing decently well in items and money. Are you kidding me? What do you mean? First, the conversation topic is soggy versus crunchy cereal, and this is a very choice topic for me because I don't really eat cereal. Like the most I've had for cereal-wise is like, I haven't really had cereal that's like not really unhealthy for me, you know. But I guess, you know, who would? Why would you eat like Raisin Bran when you can have just like anything else, you know? It's just that kind of thought process. But if I had to choose between one of them, ooh, nice bounce. With soggy, you have like, You have very sloppy cereal. I think I personally do crunchy because I never liked cereal with milk. I'll be the first to admit that. Cereal with milk just kind of always felt like a bad combination in my mind. And I think that's just because, like, I've never liked texture as a person. I've never enjoyed texture in, like, in unfavorable situations. Like cereal, maybe it's because of, like, TV shows and shit. Like in cartoons, you have, like, whenever somebody eats cereal or something like that, it's always like a crunchy sound, you know? It always sounds very, like, solid. Even if there is milk in there, it's a soft, like, crunch sound, like you're eating an apple or some shit. So, like, turn that against me, and to have it be like, oh, here's the crunch that's not actually good at all. Here's something that doesn't have any crunch at all. It's just like a sound of you eating nothing. Really, it sounds like you're eating, like, slop. I'm used to, like, oatmeal. Like, you know, I'm saying this because, like, I used to enjoy more, like, porridge-style foods. But, like, then it became very picky, I guess is the best way to put it. I just never liked crunchy foods past that point. Or I never liked foods that do not resemble what they should have a texture of. If you give me, like, an apple and it has, like, a soft spot, I will eat around that soft spot. Because apples are meant to be crunchy. They're not meant to be soft. Or, like, alternatively, you give me, like, what's a soft food? I'm trying to think of something that's, like, actually soft. I guess you give me a peach. So you give me a peach. I'm more healthy and I look better as a person. But you give me a peach and it's like, it tastes like, it tastes fine until, like, just this one moment where it's like, it's inexplicably crunchy and it's just like, ugh, yucky. And it's just like, I don't want to talk to you after that. I feel like you've tricked me with this, like, food deceivery. So okay, I guess final district answer is, like, I like eating crunchy cereal. I do not like soft cereal in any way, shape, or form. Just, like, it just does not taste correct for me texture-wise. I've been conditioned to, like, enjoy crunchy foods with a soft food. So, next topic I want to talk about is, like, Pikmin 2 changes. Because, like, okay, I gotta remember to actually be careful now, because, like, size matters. Size does matter, Mario & Luigi Dream Team. So Pikmin 2 is probably one of the very important games to my childhood for a lot of reasons. For, like, starters, it was, like, probably one of the first Nintendo games I played outside of, like, Mario. It was one of the first, like, outside of Mario Nintendo games that I played. Just playing Pikmin 2 with, like, my family and all that stuff. Not my family, just me and my sister, basically. It was very fun. I have a lot of great memories with it, of course. It's something I will never forget in my life. Nice job, Brown. When the remake came out, I was thoroughly disappointed because, like, the best thing about Pikmin 2 to me was, like, just the absurd amount of product placement for no reason whatsoever. Like, that was always really funny to me, and, like, really, it was, like, impressive because, like, you think Nintendo, back when you're, like, a kid, you think about, like, oh, Nintendo is a company on their own merit. They would not be able to cross, like, essentially, this is like a crossover to me. Like, that's what I saw. It's just like a massive worldwide Nintendo crossover that, like, surpassed Smash Bros. In terms of, like, his skill, because it was like, here's this crossover game, but we're crossovering products instead of, like, actual Nintendo companies. It was really nice to just, like, see all these products come together into this massive, like, advertising, basically. It was just an advertising fest, of course, but, like, it had a lot more meaning. And it was, like, something you would not expect Nintendo doing. It was something Nintendo, like, it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like they stepped out of their comfort zone for it. I do salute them for that. So when Pikmin 2 came out and they were like, okay, we can't do the same thing we did twice, yeah? So we're just gonna, like, not do that. And then they just didn't. They just did not bring the fucking amazing product placement back, like, because they're a much stricter company now. That's why. It's not because of like it's just because like they knew if they did, they were going to get sued by some kind of company nowadays. Because every company is out for each other's throats at this point. I will say something though about, I will be fair to Nintendo, the products replacement that they had are not bad at all. They are very, like, true to what the products were. Well, not true, they replaced, like, Carmex with, like, Vaseline or something like that. They replaced, like, pickles with orange, and I was like, no, they couldn't do this to me. I was thoroughly disappointed when that happened. Like, okay. I don't know what else there is about Token 2 that was changed. I know they removed the fucking weed, which is, like, that's the stake of it all. That they remember what they took from us. I assume it's like, I don't think there was. Oh, there was a couple like Captain Log things that were changed, which also kind of sucked. Oh, right, they also removed the hot singles advertisement, which is that's fine. Which is like also very disappointing. Thank God that guy stopped me. I do think Pikmin 2 was like an era of more chaotic Nintendo activity, but it was also when they're at their prime. Like the GameCube to the Wii era was probably the best Nintendo will ever be, and it will never reach that glory day again without like. The only thing it can do is like remind us of the past with like Super Mario 3D All-Stars, for example. But even that is, you can tell it's so much more soulless because with Mario 3D All-Stars they just made it like last a year, and then. There goes Mario's Celebration. Like this, the latest in Mario Nintendo Direct that we had, that was totally not just me the Mario Direct. It was so like, it was so much more of a celebration of Mario than the actual Mario Celebration that we had. It was kind of surprising. I believe that's all there is though. But the next topic in hand is how, oh boy, okay, that's a close one. How like memes have ruined our mentality. And what I mean by that is like, I could say any modern meme of nowadays, or like even any classic meme, and people would recognize it immediately. I don't even like say like, I don't even need to say like much of it even. Like if I say from 90 to an 80, you know the exact rest of what I'm about to say. And I don't even need to finish this. I don't even need to edit in like the rest of the joke. You know. You know. I did this on Gammon, like, he realized it was only... I gave him too little of context, but, like, just enough context that he was like, oh, yeah, wait, I see now. When I had to explain it to him. It's not only, like, the fact that you can, like, easily recognize a meme with me just, like, mumbling it or something like that, but it's just also the fact of, like, what memes have done to some people. Because, like, there's people who, like, live by the meme all their lives, and it's, like... They clearly need to take a second. Like there's a difference between like making a joke based on a meme and like having a personality based on it. So that's kind of like insanity, really. Like I don't know a good example, but like I guess there was like all the oh god, really the only thing that comes to mind is like Rick and Morty fans, because it's obviously like they're. Oh wait, okay, the Szechuan sauce guy. You know that person from McDonald's that like had a tantrum because there's no Szechuan sauce, and then like you just start screaming. That guy was influenced by the meme too deep. Those type of people is what I'm talking about. Those are like the people that are in way too deep to what they're doing, and it's like Christ. Because you have to balance a fine line between like being the person that's just really committed to the bit, which is good. That's what we call German. Or an insanity, which again we call it's potato. That was Bowser Jr. for a second. But I think like you can kind of see what I'm talking about with the like the skibidi toilet thing now. It's like it's gone to a point where people I don't know what I'm saying with this guy. Actually, the only thing I know about skibidi toilet is like a video by Meat Papa Meat, and like Vinny's reaction to it, initial reaction to it anyway, or like his like surprise. I haven't really dwelled into that, and I'm sure I'm reading like things about it. It's like it's not actually that bad. It's kind of like a flashback to old YouTube, which I will say I like that stuff. I love seeing old YTPs. I've always enjoyed like old internet. It's always very like nice to see history because it's the nostalgia factor of it. You feel all nice and fuzzy inside from just seeing dinner happen in front of you, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying about this. My point is like I just kind of worry for what might happen in the future because it seems like I'd much rather not have like memes be our culture in the future, stuff like that, you know, like everything is just like the next biggest meme is like the most surprising one of all, and it's like something inescapable basically. But going to another topic after this brief intermission as we get a word from our sponsor, Schmingle. Get your schminglies out of here. I don't fucking know. A topic I would like to talk about in a more lengthy detail is creepypastas, because like with YouTube poops, they are something that I cherished for a lot of my life. Nice. That's like okay. And I will always love YouTube poops for what they were worth. They were something very good, you know, like extremely good. You know, creepypastas were like, they were my beginning to horror when I was younger. I'm sure they were beginning to horror to a lot of young people back. And I adore creepypastas for all that it's worth. So there were kind of like a few of my better creepypastas I liked, which was like, I enjoyed like the easy stuff, like Jeff the Killer, Slenderman, all that crap, all that easy stuff to like enjoy about, you know. But there was one in particular that I enjoyed like a lot more, I think, which was like, actually I remember this one. It was, you know, it was like the top 100 creepypastas where like it had a lot of really good animated bits. Yeah, no, I remember it was like, it featured like a lot of the more famous creepypastas, and also like a handful of obscure but kind of popular ones. Like any of you remember God's Cave or whatever it's called, or God's Mouth or something like that, where like it was these two cave explorers. They find themselves in like a deep cave. They get a little bit lost, and like they're like, okay, well, we'll just record our findings on the way there. And then like they try to like turn back around, but before they realize it, they're like they like end up in like a cave that closes itself off basically, and they're basically like fucked over because, you know, they're dead. They're dead. Like one of the persons, I just lost so much money there. I might just like spend a big chunk of just like reading old creepypastas that are in Ember, or like recounting them anyway, because like there's so many of them that I could just talk about. Yeah, there's these two people in a cave. They go through it and like they're trapped in it and they go crazy. One of the people like just dipped, which leaves the recorder alone. He like records his final moments alone, and like he sees like a hand appear out of the cave or something like that. And it was decently animated to the point where like I was convinced that this was a genuine, even though it was just SFM. It was good SFM. It was like really like stylized and shit. To the point where I'd believe it if it was like found footage. Looking back, it definitely wasn't. Let's make that clear. Looking back, it was totally just like some SFM footage, and it was like, yeah, it's whatever. There was this one like, it really was a playground rumor to me, because I'd actually told it in a fucking, I was the playground guy. I was the guy who said this in the playground. I was like, oh, this is the story of all time, guys. You gotta listen to this shit. But it was like these guys go through like a long hallway, and he's like lost and shit. Gold! Forget about gold here. Ah, gold! Gold! Oh no! Ah, god damn it! Ah, there goes the entire run. We gotta find something like worthy. We gotta find something big and like fast. Right there. This stuff seems like the last straw we need to like complete our journey. We were this close, but I got greedy. I got very greedy. Okay, you know what? We got 100. That's a guaranteed 100 right there. I'm gonna live with that. I'm gonna live with that, but you know what? That's fine by me. So the other one was like this. I had to recount it because I only remember it in like elementary, which was like there was these like people, and there's a guy who was like trapped in like a void area, and he had to pick a number of open the fucking door. He had to pick a number of doors, otherwise he would just turn into like he would just die basically, you know? He was given like the choice of like a bunch of doors, and if he picked the wrong door, he would be sent to like a nightmare hellscape and he would just basically die. So he had to be very careful what he was doing. He had to like choose very selective doors. But each time he like entered the door, it was just like an entire nightmare hellscape itself. He kept having to endure these like torturous events for no reason whatsoever, until it was just too much for him, and the guy just like wandered through a light, which killed him. Like he was like going insane throughout the entire like course of it all. And when he was finally like told, okay, you can actually have peace, it was like, well, JK, just die. And then they died. What else could I talk about creepypasta-wise? Because there is so much you can talk about creepypasta. I will say I've never seen like the only big creepypasta I ever watched when I was younger was like the whatchamacallit, the big ones, like, you know, Bend Around, Back, Thunder. Those like big three, I'd say, is the only ones I actually watched. I never seen anyone else. Oh, Tails Doll, obviously. I'm a Sonic fan. Why wouldn't I say Tails Doll? That actually, okay, wait, no, okay, that didn't bring up a good point. So there was this one animation of like, back when Tails Doll was a big thing, there was also like a lot of, there was like a subculture for just like haunted dolls, like, you know, Chucky and shit. And one of them had like a, there was this one like creepy rock song, not creepy rock song, I'd say. That was like, oh yeah, message me, hold on. I think it was a 3/4 rhythm song anyway, it was like a nursery rhyme kind of sounding song, but it was meant to be like creepy, of like this guy having a haunted doll and just like disposing of it. But like it keeps coming back to him, and there was this one like sprite Sonic animation of like Sonic owning the I think it was actually Tails, maybe Sonic or Tails owning like the Tails doll and like having to be this character, and I found that like so terrifying when I was younger. Like I thought my doll's in my closet, because I have if I could, I would show you, but I'd rather keep myself private. But we have like genuine like 1980s vintage dolls just in my closet, and I always thought like there was they'd come to life and like just like take me and kill me or some shit like that, you know, typical like young fears and stuff like that, you know? Obviously that never happened, unfortunately. And I guess to get on that, there was also another story that I remember. It was less of a creepypasta, more of like one of those like scary tales book series where like it was just like these collections of like minor scary stories with like really good illustrations, like really good illustrations. And I remember vividly there was this one where it's like it was this like child who got buried alive because people thought he was dead, because I think it was like the lesson like don't fake your sickness or otherwise you'll like become like a creature from the depths or something like that. I don't know. There's some like goofy shit. Hey, sorry, They didn't think the child was they thought the child was killed, so they like had a funeral and buried him and everything. But then the child woke up without a grave, mind you, without like a coffin that would rest in for some reason, because of course that had to happen. And it was like, it scared me, because it was like this child was wide awake, he was terrified, he was like scarred for life, and it was just left in the dirt there forever, because like, you know, who's gonna go check on it? It's not like the 1930s where there's bells and shit. This guy was just gone forever. And like that made me be afraid of death. That was my first like time I was afraid to die. Not like a life-threatening experience or anything, it's just jungle. Holy shit. Jungle jump scare. I really wish I could find it. I wish I was like a big YouTuber at this point. If I do get big and like somebody's watching my old videos, please contact me or some way. Just like let me know how to find this old thing because it's so cool to me. I don't remember the story at all. I'm making up a story right now, just like to assume what happened. It could have been anything else. And this kid was like buried 6 feet under, and there was like it was fictional, by the way. In case I did not point that out, it's just fictional. And like you could see like the dirt like caving into his face, and like there was like a worm coming out of his eye socket and shit like that. It was just that. Oh, why am I here? It's not a good place for me to be in. It was just like that kind of creepy kid stuff. That was like, it wasn't gruesome, but it sure as hell was mentally scarring. Oh, that's how you get jump out of this tree. But time passed, and I lost the book. It might have been like a borrowing from the library, so maybe I can like go look around for scary stories, stuff like that. It'd be impossible to describe because I don't remember the author or anything. I just remember that cursed panel because like my dad was reading that to me and when I was like younger, and like I just stared at my closet looking at the dolls across the way, thinking they were gonna get me tomorrow and bury me alive. I hate those dolls. They were a gift from my grandma, I'm pretty sure, so like it's not like we're gonna throw them away, but like they were a gift from my grandma to my big sister before they were given to me as like a hand-me-down. Like, yeah, what am I gonna do with this, of course, but like I just don't like looking at those dolls. They aren't haunted at all. I wish they were. I think I was saying like, oh, I don't like the scary stuff, but I wish I was haunted. Nope. No. We can talk about creepy for like a long time because I am the creepy guy. Like this, it's kind of like why me and Gam picked up B5313 is because like we wanted the creep factor. We wanted those jump scares. Maybe in Halloween, maybe when October rolls around, I'll like do a little like segment of just me streaming a bunch of horror games because Pepper has a really good knack of finding like horror games per se. Even if there's like their horror games that are like extremely broke. Oh my god, I can actually tell you about the house. Okay, so there is a house near our ride aid that has been abandoned for a decent while, I'd say. I can't even say if it's been abandoned or not because like it looks abandoned. There's overgrowth, there's like broken windows, there's a busted door and all that, but like there's a lot of evidence suggesting that it's not abandoned by somebody. There's like there's evidence that there's somebody in there, and I just can't prove it. Occasionally I'd see a car in the driveway of that house, but it's not like it's a different car, truck, van. It's like something that like the guy in there is going to sell in a moment to get money. That's it's not used for transportation. That's the point. For one mega instance that I am sure there was somebody in there. The door got blown in by like some storm, but then like a couple days later it got patched. It was like every day. They drove by like every day on my way to school and shit. Every day it would be like repositioned in a new angle that the winds could have taken it, but then it would be like upright, propped against the door as if somebody did put it up right there. So not by like wind or something like that, you know? Just like it was not. It was human. It was human action that made that happen. And I have yet to like see any faces. I've seen like evidence that there is more to it than there, because there's like if this angle is just right, you can see like an open window, and in that window had like furniture. I swear to God, I saw a chair. But like I really want to know what's in there. The only other piece of evidence that I got that there's actually somebody in there was when my big sister worked at Pizza Hut, our local Pizza Hut. She got a delivery for that place, and it was like it belonged to like a crackhead. Like just straight up a crackhead, which that does make sense. That's a very reasonable explanation for who could live in that kind of place. It's just like I want to know what he looks like. I want to know how his living condition is. I want to know like how down bad this guy is, because like you look at his place and it's like, who hurt you? how'd you get to this like condition that you're in, man? It's just something I'm like incessantly curious about. I know I shouldn't be curious about this kind of thing, but like I can't help it. You know, like you'd want to know. And I've always told myself, like, when I get older, when I'm like 30 and I've given up on like doing anything or stuff like that, you know, like when I'm just like so bored with everything that I'm just gonna like, I'm gonna do something very experimental. I'm gonna just like go there and knock on the door and see what answers it, and like, or like go in there and just explore, you know? It's breaking and entering, maybe, but like I just want to know. I want to like have this curiosity finally be concluded to me. If just like who owns it, and like what have you done to like what have you done to yourself? These are fun though. I am actually very much enjoying what I'm doing. Of just like discussing certain things in my enjoyments. Like I can keep on cryptid for like an entire thing, but I am gonna jump topics just for a second, just to make this better for us. So movies. I don't really go to movies. If I am going to go to a movie, it's either going to be me watching it online, just by actually going to like a movie theater. I've gone to like a movie theater not too many times, and I will say, my movie experience each time is very worthwhile. I will always enjoy a movie if you take me to a theater, because like, you know, why shouldn't I? The movie's setting like enhances the... When I'm here, when I'm in my desk and I'm watching a movie for the first time, in like that situation, I'm not watching it to like enjoy it. I'm watching to criticize it, while also enjoying it if it's the first time. Unless it's like something like actually enjoyable, like Wallace and Gromit. Like that's always a good time, you know? That's something you could not criticize, no matter how hard you tried. I've only had like I have had only a couple of like major movie enjoyments in my lifetime, because I don't really watch movies. Like the only movie I kind of watch is like YouTube movies or something like short films, something like that. Like, but not to say I don't watch movies. I like enjoyed when Golden introduced me to it. I enjoyed the hell out of Pirates of the Caribbean, and like that made me a fan for like a good while, like a year or two. That was like that was me and Golden's like first genuine bonding experience, was just that movie. And I do cherish that time we spent together, of course. It's not really much to talk about like movies, but I haven't seen like any of the Star Wars movies except for like the Lego Star Wars variants, and I guess the first one because I watched that in film literacy class. I did get into Indiana Jones, I will say that. Like that one movie that like got me mega hooked was Indiana Jones. That I got mega hooked on with Indiana Jones, and it was like, this is peak film. I watched it in like back in January. I was like, okay, what's going on here? What's on the TV show? Then the TV was in Kalahari, because we go to Kalahari every January, February-ish. It's always a fun time. On the TV was just like Indiana Jones marathon, watch all of it in one sitting. I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And I just did that. Like I just stayed up from, it was like 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. I was listening the entirety of the Indiana Jones movies, and I was hooked. What can I say? I loved it all, because I only was like so committed to it because in kin with the Lego Star Wars trilogy, I had the Lego Indiana Jones trilogy, which is like, I don't know if I got the peak version or not. I think I had the older version, because I don't remember anything from the Curious the Skull aspect of it. I think I only got the original trilogy, but like at the same time, I think the cutscenes were in their like remastered trilogy. Because I watched like a cutscene sequence of the movies when I was like interested in it, and there was a lot of scenes I never really saw. It's a conundrum basically, because I don't remember seeing anything about the Crystal Skull aspect, but I don't remember seeing the cutscenes of the original trilogy aspect. So I must have had like the like remastered trilogy that had the Crystal Skull aspect, the Crystal Skull section in it, but I just never played the Crystal Skull parts because I just never noticed where they were. Surprisingly, despite my love for horror, I never actually have seen much horror series. Like, I haven't watched, oh shit, I forgot limited to 50. I watched Paranormal Activity and stuff like that, but I haven't seen, like, thanks. I just don't like violence. I don't like too much blood. And I think movies, it is very ironic saying that, because as much as I love horror as a concept, I can't stand, like, horror movies, because they're just, like, they do something to me, you know? Alright, we gotta grab something that's worthwhile in size. So we gotta, like, really be careful here, because I want to grab that. Alright! Okay. Let's try doing another topic. Games I like. I mean, you're looking at one right now, aren't you? I don't know what to tell you. Do you even know who you're talking to? This one is actually a very good level for just, like, speaking and thinking about things. It's this level. It's the level where you just kind of do whatever hell you want. Games I like, apart from, obviously, Katamari, there's, I feel like this is not the hardest one to talk about, because, like, I've said plenty of games I enjoy so far now. I'm thinking about, like, fun games that I actually... Okay, you know what? Actually, I do got a good one. So there was this, like, this old... I was actually surprised when Vinny Vinehouse played it on stream. Like, it was like, this is not real anymore. This is fake life right now I'm looking at. It was, this very, very old school, like... It wasn't even like a Game Boy Advance or anything. It was on this, like, external device called, like, the Learn Pad or some shit like that. It looked like a camera. That's like it looked like a fucking camera. And it kind of was, I think. I think I'm thinking of two different devices, but I think this, like, kid-like camera that, like, runs for like a second then dies a second later. Nowadays, we need to replace its batteries, I'm sure. But yeah, no, it's like this educational game where you just push a series of buttons, and it was very basic, but there was two games that I remember, three games actually, that I remember very fondly, and one of them Vinny did play. It was like this letters game, this letters 2D side-scrolling game where you have, like, characters look like eggs. And, like, the old man, like, ruined the letters, something like that, and he'd, like, go around town to fix them. And I remember it very fondly, because I could never get past, like, the first level, because I was not good at letters. I wasn't good at spelling. Obviously, I'm decent at spelling now. Just look at my... Thanks to the world of autocorrect, anyway. The other game was like this... I think it was like you were like a leprechaun or something like that, just like... Or like a fairy or something like that. You had like these... Or no, you were an alien. I remember that. And you, like, just played with the kids and taught them, like, how to make numbers and stuff like that. It was an entertainment game, of course. It was an entertainment game where just, like, you taught yourself numbers, you read, you wrote, and stuff like that. And one of the games I remember very in particular was this, like, was two games, which is one was like a hide and seek kind of game where you just, like, chased kids in this massive, and I mean massive map. It scrolled and everything. It was actually pretty, like, extensive. It was very fun, is what I'm trying to say. It was a very fun game to play in particular compared to, like, the other, like, kind of more boring games. So the other one was, like, just as expansive and maze-like, where you had to, like, run away from a guy who was trying to capture you because you're an alien for science purposes, while building a ship with, like, various little parts. And it was basically, in essence, it was basically like a count the shapes game, shit like that, you know, like something like Barnyard Dinosaur related. So you get ready for, like, screams of agony every couple seconds. Yeah, do you see that guy's sick trick? That was awesome. The third edutainment game that I remember on this, like, device, that was called, like, the Learn Pad or something like that anyway. This very stupid but simplistic, like, shapes and stars game, and, like, I don't remember anything about it other than one very, very specific detail, and that was just, like, this literal shmup. It was like not. It probably was like, I think it was like you can like learn, like you have to like guess the correct shape in order to get more powers and stuff like that. But otherwise, it was just a shmup, and you had to like, you just had to like hone your skills and shmuppery in order to like be good. And by God, did I do that? I got far a lot of times. That was like my first instance of like genuine gaming, I believe, or at least like my first concentratedness. I'm sure I've had plenty of experience besides that, which does bring us into another good point of like game nostalgia. Like what are the games that I played when I was much younger? And I have a lot. I already explained to you the entertainment ones, of course, but like GameCube games, you know, like I've said many times I was a GameCube person. I was a DS person. I played in those kind of eras, and we didn't have much GameCube games, I'll admit. We had like Mario Sunshine, Mario Kart Double Dash, and Finding Nemo. Those are the 3 GameCube games we had. Everything else is kind of just Wii, which, hey, I'm not complaining. We had a lot of Wii games. It's where I got introduced to Super Mario, was the Wii era, with Super Mario. And like, I'd say I'm one of those fans. I guess at this point it's become a trilogy of classic versus modern at this point, which is, you know, it's expected. I've always had a softer spot for the classics. I've seen I've seen you know, footage of Sticker Star and like how atrocious that game was. I'm gonna sound very rude with this, but I genuinely don't know how anyone can enjoy that game, apart from like the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is pretty banger, I won't lie. The gameplay is awful. The story is like bone dry. Bowser doesn't speak. Like, come on. I think even they made Bowser speak in like, I don't know if they made Bowser speak in the Rabbids games, but I assume they did. Because why wouldn't you? I didn't realize that Raven Rabbids is like the Mario and Rabbids is like the new RPG of our time, and I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about the game that with Luigi Dab. It's like the new RPG that we all enjoy. But apart from the GameCube games, yeah, Super Mario was like my favorite out of the Wii stuff that we have. Super Mario Galaxy, which I mentioned before, was like I screamed at my cousin's house for it. I was terrified of the baby piranha boss fight for like a good while that I couldn't beat the game. I couldn't even beat the first level because of it. I got a lot more. There was like Kirby Return to Dreamland. Mario Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. That was a good one. That one, I think that's like... I think I've been thinking about this for a while now. I think one of the games that I love the most out of those like mini games that are in there was this like dream hockey mode, where it was basically like hockey and Bowser Castle. And you like got, it was kind of like Mario Kart, where you get like a blue shell like fucking over and all that. It was very fun. And I think my dad interpreted that as like, oh, my son likes hockey. Let's take him to a hockey game and see if he votes well. And of course I was bored because I was like, where's the blue shell? You know, some stupid thing like that. You know, he meant well, and I do appreciate that, of course. But we never went to a hockey game again after that moment. We had a lot of Wii games: Kirby Return to Dreamland, Mario and Sonic Adventure games. But there was one game that I did not have that I was very interested in, that I haven't really even touched apart from like one instance. What? Oh, you can do that? Didn't realize. Huh. Not only that, but I never discovered that before. One of the games that like I wanted to get when I was in the Wii era was Epic Mickey 2, and I only say that because like there was a friend of mine, which I do respect very much. He had Epic Mickey 2 on his Wii, and he was like, okay, I'll come over and play in that Wii game sometimes, and it was always a very fun event, you know? Like, him and I would just like muck about. We would like make some kind of bits. I would do like he would do a Mickey impression, I'd do an Oswald impression, because we were else making Oswald. And it was my first instance of like Royal Nose. It was my first instance of like perfect chaos. And lived to ruin the guy's day. in a very fun manner. Of course, he wasn't like pissed off or anything, but he enjoyed what I did. I've always wanted to play with Gam, to be honest. If it wasn't for how like horrible it is to have inter games, I'd probably like play Epic Mickey 2 with him. Or not inter, what am I saying? LAN games, you know, LAN games online is like very difficult for us. Alright, only 100, man. I think I'm gonna go with Gam now though. So, yeah.